One, two, one, two, one, two. So I'm checking my levels and all that good stuff. And um, this is just, I'm still doing tests and everything on how I want to eventually put all of this together. Come 2025, when I'm up and running again and can get out more content, and the content will be more in line of what we're trying to accomplish here at Volo Television, and it's on my Facebook too right now. I might cut it and chop it up a little bit and throw it on TikTok or X. I call it Twitter X, and I think that's why I'm kind of using the Xenoblade Chronicles X as my backdrop for these kind of discussions. I'm gonna be quick. I'm not going to really go too deep in helping people understand the code, quote unquote, because like you'll hear it a lot, and you heard a lot of it during this past 4 years when it came to politics and religion and scientific methodology, right? When it came to those three kind of concepts, and they're closely related. You know me, I am the triadic eye when I'm talking about the vision and how mathematics actually work, sacred, secular, and symbolically, right? Um, or even abstract, analytical, and arithmetic. It is the core in how we use the colloquialisms of mathematics to construct theorems, definitions, axioms, etc., in creating that final calculus textbook. And I'm just using calculus as an example. The three that I work on with my son is game theory and group theory. Color theory is a little bit of rhetoric, because now you're dealing with either just straight thought, and of course we want straight thought to be truth, or we're dealing with emotions, and emotions can be very, 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 very illogical, especially when you're surrounded by people that are caught up in the matrix, and they go to code right there, right? Because anybody that's seen the Matrix and studied the movie knows that how that relates to you know the slave mind of this future existence that's it's the future, right? Like Star Trek is the future. It's science fiction. You know, that's why I try to distinguish that between that and Star Wars. Star Wars happened in the past. Battlestar Galactica actually takes place in the past. They're on their way here now, kind of a thing. They were supposed to arrive in 1980. That's when the big reveal was, but it might have happened, but we didn't know it because of the government's involvement in keeping it hush. And that's the kind of not philosophy, so like psychology. It was a psychological game that they play, especially both parties, all the politics. It's a psychological game, and now that it's over, that's why we're seeing the Democrats having to repent and having their hands in the cookie jar because they kept pushing this crazy narrative that they're going to go back to rounding up all the foundational black autochtons and hanging us on the tree again. So that's obviously wasn't the game plan or this what is transpiring. We've as foundational black autochtons have been adamant, and the black media, I give them credit, um, and the manosphere, like the manosphere. There is a little separation between the manosphere and the black media, right? The black media, shout out to Jason Black, Doctor, not Professor Black Truth, and the most popular one is Tariq Nasheed. Now Tariq Nasheed is more into the entertainment. That's why it's he does things facetiously, and he's a little more of the jokester out of the three, and that's why he comes off as being the one that's closest to being P Diddy and Jay Z and those kind of rappers that now that they were able to make cash off of you know I'm trying to think of because now it's considered rhetoric in talking about black supremacy or black you know black people actually being the racist ones, because those three have been adamant in explaining that it's economical, right? There's a reason why. What's the name of the group here? We're gonna go with them because I'm doing Def Jam Zero, right? There's a reason why the Beastie Boys are number one and LL Cool J is number two. Now you let LL say he's gonna say he's number one, that they're number two. Slick Rick, Public Enemy 3 and Slick Rick was 4, and it's not to not include. I think the Roots might be on there, Def Jam. Method Man was on Def Jam. Everybody had like individual deals with Wu Tang. Who else was on Def Jam? Onyx was on Def Jam, I think. It gets kind of the line started getting blurry as more and more record companies was investing in hip hop music, rap music. Rap is something you do, hip hop is something you live. So the one gentleman that I shared it as rap being the art, hip hop being the culture. And that's where I kind of piggybacked off of that using Karis One's book, Rakim's book. I still got to get that Chuck D book. I give much props to Chuck D. And RZA, the Tower Wu-Tang. Those are 3 books that I use to help explain the culture, how it grew, why we're not the violent one that they claim that we are, and why organizations like Black Lives Matter isn't necessarily the culture. Yes, there are hip hoppers that support those type of movements, but those movements are really counterproductive. They are more anti-black racist than anti-white racist. It's just a psychological game that they playing on us, and and this is me violating the code and trying to explain it because it's who are you that make you the authority? Who gives you authority? And then that's when it comes back to one God, our Father, the art of time, hip hop, life, love, one. There it is. So right here we got a Xenoblade Chronicles X. Right now I loaded this one up because it's a cool game. It is the code. You notice it got an X in it. See, Elon was out of order using the X because now it's like you kind of downplaying Malcolm X's importance, right? Clarence 13X importance, Clash's X's importance. It was Clash's X before it became Muhammad Ali. There's a road to getting a not real name. What do they call it? And my apologies to my Islamic, my Muslim, black Muslim family, right? Like I said, I'm Islamic Christian. I started with the Christian faith, and then got tutelage from, the the gods and the earths and, 5%ers and, you know what I mean? Because we were all part of the same culture, and we call that culture hip hop. So, and this is documented in the books that I'm sharing. That's what gives me authority to speak on it. Not giving up any secret because it's out there in the Book of Congress, right? In the books. So, and that's where we can help determine the difference between our culture and, the Black Lives Matter or the LGBTQ or all these other people that claim that their culture is, the number one culture for them. Hip hop is the number one culture for me. Hip hop is the number one culture for Karis One. Hip hop is the number one culture for MC Light. Hip hop is the number one culture for Chuck D. Right? And it's like we don't hate Black Lives Matter, but when Black Lives Matter assumes that we need to, burn stuff down or whatever because of, a miscommunication. Best way to put it, right? There's a miscommunication going on, and therein is where I'm, consistent in saying, yes, God is in charge. Yes, Barack was supposed to make the decisions that he made because that's who Barack is. But now we have to correct the wrong in him changing the colloquial rhetoric in the laws that caused major devastation to the black family and the black community, socioeconomically. Let's go to continue. Let's see where we at. So yeah, that's why I loaded this game up. This is like let me chronicle some of the thoughts and try to help people understand that want to understand true hip hop culture. There's a lot of people that want to, bash and get down on hip hop, but they don't claim it, right? They claim their black culture, and it's outdated now, like the baby boomers. And I'm like, nah, the baby boomers are still here. I just hollered to, at my pops and my moms yesterday. We doing good. Thank you. Thanks the Lord, right? My son's doing good. He's the future of hip hop culture. It's in therein is where they're saying, well, he's Black Lives Matter, and it's like, nah. Don't do that. Don't come in between me and my son. He's LGBT. No. Stop. Don't come in between me and my son. And that's what the Democratic Party did, right? So now that's why Biden getting a pardon for his son is very hypocritical, because he left wars between a major part of black families. Now we have to fight that same court system that favored him because of his status and, his cronyism, what I mean? And we black people, well, black Democrats only elected him because of meritocracy, but they didn't understand that he's actually the cronyism that caused major devastation to our culture. So, yes, I tell my parents all the time that they're hip hop culture. They were in the basement doing I'm black and I'm proud, right? So when John McWhorter comes out and be like, well, that culture, and then it's like, John, see, you done messed up, right? Like when he starts blaming, like he gives credit to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, but then when it comes to Stokely Carmichael, Kwame, aka Kwame Ture, right, and the Black Power movement, right? He wants to throw the dust. He want to throw it under the bus because of Ibrahim X, who's a young buck hip hopper. Is Ibrahim needs a little help with his mathematical understanding, right? Like I said, life is real. Not life, right? It either doesn't exist or it's heaven. Now, who are you to determine which one it is? That's where Ibrahim is off base a little bit, because he does a lot of contradiction when you're using ideologies like anti-racism, because racism is between two major colors, black and white. So it will be there. Therefore, then there would be anti-white racism versus anti-black racism. Now, which side of the fence are you on? Right? I'm not against white people. In fact, I do use some of their books, like the book that I'm keep referencing, The Art of Logical Thinking, or The Laws of Reasoning. I guess a white man wrote it. I don't have that information in front of me right now, because I have a lot of books to reference and stuff. And the same is true when dealing with the books that I share with the ladies, right? I should be moving this around more to show that it's real, right? And that's this, and you see the mech there, and I'm gonna ride one of them one day. And so yeah, this was actually his game that I started, and I want to kind of catch up to where I'm at on my game so that I can remember where I was at, because that's the thing about role-playing games. If you don't play them in a while, you get kind of lost and forget how to play, and it's like all games. So I'm gonna play with his character a little bit to catch me up to remembering where I'm at with my character. So he's at the beginning and the controls and how things move. And I mean, this thing looks amazing, right? But that's they can jump in mechs and fight the mechs, and fight big monsters outside. The monsters can be as big as some of these buildings. So this is a very cool game. They're redoing it for the Switch. Of course, I'm hearing rumors of that, a new definitive edition. And that's why I say this is on the Wii U. That's why I say the Wii U is number one, Switch is number two, when actually the Switch is about to surpass the PlayStation 2 as the all-time selling gaming system of all time. So the Switch is still available. That's why me and my son, we promoting everybody go get it. Get that Animal Crossing. We can network playing that. Get that 51 Games Plus. I'm saying that one directed to my man G. That way we can, so you can get your practice on, and then we can link up playing either dominoes or, because I know you better be scared of that chess at first, because I'm practicing too. That's smack talk, right? And, there it is, there it is. So yeah, that's all I really wanted. I just wanted to show off this just a little bit, to give y'all a sense of this is how gaming is. Like, it's like, what in the world is this? When does this take place? Is this in the past or is this in the future? As far as the Xeno saga, this one is Xeno. Which one is this again? I forgot already. Xeno Chronicles. Xenoblade. This is Xenoblade Chronicles X. And it's coming out for the Switch soon. So most of the game, that'll be almost all the games that came out for the Wii U finally came out for the Switch. And usually those are the best games on the Switch. That's why I say don't sleep on the impact that the Wii U had on gaming history, even though it sold less than, the Dreamcast, I think, or whatever. We'll go over the numbers and everything. That's another show that I'm planning on doing later on. So, but I'm just going to upload this one, share it, because it's all about, staying on code, right? And this is just something that I'm chronologizing, or the Chronicles, right? X, like Malcolm X, right? And hip hop has always been, the education that Malcolm X and John F. Kennedy, for example, weren't enemies. That's what the fake politicians put, right? Like they were enemies, that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were enemies. Like, no, these were just people practicing democracy, real democracy, sharing their voice. You know what I mean? My freedom of speech is freedom or death, right? Not life, that's corny. My freedom of speech is freedom or not life, right? Because not life can be death or heaven. Depends on what you want to believe, right? The theist versus the anti-theist, or it's actually the atheist, right? The atheist versus the theist. And that's what's in the Declaration of Independence, right? Where this anti-theist came from is where I go to Abraham X personally. That's where we have to really, really work on our colloquialisms, and then we can't change them just to fit a narrative like destroying the black family. This has been another quick message from Volothamp Modulus Tautology. God is love. Hip hop is life. Time is holy, or tranquility one day, right? And money, that's a fourth dimensional illusion that really doesn't exist, because real socioeconomics is the art of making the most out of life. Peace.